over the past month, I've been putting together I don't want to say a scam bait, because I'm not a, scam baiter or anything like that. But I got targeted by a pretty significant phishing scam and decided to go along with it to try to see if I could figure out who the bad guys were behind it, what they were doing, and why they were doing it. It started because I got this email from my an email address in my medical school, actually, saying, EasyTechSystems.com, a leading agency specialized in full-service ATM management company that strives to manage ATM networks with maximum efficiency and integrity, has an immediate... what a run-on, okay? EasyTechSystems.com, a leading agency specialized in full-service ATM management company that strives to maintain ATM networks with maximum efficiency and integrity, has an immediate need for a mail dispatcher job. Flexible hours and good pay. It won't, no apostrophe, disturb your current employment, as you will be working only 2 to 3 hours twice a week. You can earn up to $300 to $2,000 weekly. Requirement, a computer, and a working printer. All of the materials will be provided to you. I have been looking for money lately. I'm, recently lost my, kitschy military gig, and now I don't have anything to call a military kitschy gig, but I lost my kitschy military gig very soon, so I could use a job. So, I was interested in this job, which was not a job. And I knew it was not a job because I had received this email from the cybersecurity folks at my medical school, and they said, "Greetings, please be aware of this phishing scam. If you receive, I don't know why we're vampires, but if you receive a message like the one enclosed, just delete and don't call or text the number. Be aware of variations of the sender's name. Title can be IT admin, IT support, and so on. If you had texted or called the number, please contact IT for further assistance." Some kind of vampire or something. So, and they recommended don't talk to those people. So, of course, I figured I should talk to those people. What are requirements or resume needs? And they said, "Thank you for your interest in the mail dispatcher job. It requires a computer and a printer." And I said, "Where does one send a resume to get started?" "Your job basically is to print letters, payroll, and drop off at USPS location around you. Just 2 to 3 hours of your time is needed twice a week, which makes the job very flexible." I see. What kind of company is it for? And how is pay required? I'm located in Virginia and could easily print things at USPS, likely. Pay will be via Zelle or PayPal. Is pay per hour or per letter? And what kind of company is it that needs its printing outsourced? Curious about the company itself, too. Very interested. Did I mention I'm interested? They use $300 bi-weekly. EasyTech Systems. Space. I'm sure you saw the name of the company in the message you received. That seems like a lot for printing. How many people do you need? I have a friend who definitely needs a job. At this point, there was an... I'm not even going to admit it, but I understood that this is probably a scam. But also a small part of my head, like in that skit. Have you seen that skit by Mitchell and Webb in which there's 3 billionaires who have been trying to give away a yacht and haven't been able to give away their yacht because, they give it away to the millionth visitor to their website. And the millionth visitor always closes the pop-ups and doesn't even try to claim their prize, right? And I was like, what if this is that millionaire? What if this is someone who just legitimately wanted to help someone have a job also? Which, of course, is not the case. Don't ever think like that. Be cynical and angry. Don't believe in kindness. But the other thought in my head was, what do you stand to gain by offering me a job? Are you going to try to get my secret my information? Let's find out. These are the thoughts that are going through my head. Okay. To which so I went on. Yes, I saw the name. I was curious about the mission statement. I understand it is ATM outsourcing. Just trying to understand the job. Is it mostly printing correspondence, or more like sending payroll data to all the ATM service employees? Pay attention to the things I said, because he will later use the things I said in order to make up a good lie. So that's important. That is an important thing. Pay attention to that. Pay attention, I said. Oh, I understand you now. Printing is not a lot, as you will be printing letters / payroll and survey materials. I gave them the idea to say payroll. Me. Just 2 to 3 hours, twice a week. I see. How many people do you need? I would like to invite my friend. She could really use a job like this. There's 3 positions left. I need a smart person and has to have a computer and a working printer. I see. Well, what do I need to do to get started? When can we do a test run print? This week. Whenever. It's easytechsystems.com, right? Yes, correct. You need to pick up USPS Priority Express envelopes from the post office along with mailing tapes. Okay, sounds good. I actually may already have some. Oh. With a period. Like, very. Priority Mail Express envelopes? What on earth would it cause you to have something like that? My husband has a pottery business, so we tend to have a lot of priority boxes and envelopes all around. If I can't find ones, I will just buy thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. What do I need to do once I find the envelopes? Priority Mail Express, right? Yes, Priority Mail Express. The envelopes are free at the post office, along with mailing tapes, which I don't think is the case, actually. Do you have any stationery stores around you? Not sure, but I can easily print off some nice stationery designs. Why on earth does he want stationery? Points if anyone knows why he wants stationery. Do you know? Do you know why he wants stationery? Can you guess at this point? This is one reason I did this. This is because this is unusual, and I'd never seen anyone talk about this before, because I don't need to do something that someone else is already doing better. Do you know why he wants stationery? Are you still here? You ought to purchase Form 3000 or Form 1000 paper from the store. No spaces. It's just $21, which will be reimbursed at the end of the first week. This is what Easy Tech Systems website looks like. I figured it would be a good job to do a little bit of digging into the company that I would be working for. They are an ATM outsourcing solutions for modern customer experiences. They have a services page where they explain what they do. And there are some spelling errors on it. Sometimes small businesses have spelling errors. They say ATM partnership and placement programs. We deliver doesn't have a capital, it should. They deliver, install, and maintain ATMs, even keeping it stocked with cash. I don't know why they say even. You would think that would be their whole job. It's interesting, but also is in a different color on purpose. Because the security and compliance thing came from a stock website, and that's why it's the same font color as services up at the top. So they put up a stock website, and then they put in the text, and when they put in the text, that's why the one in the middle, the text is kind of highlighted. I didn't highlight that. Their text is highlighted because they had a formatting error when they were throwing this together real quick, and it's a different font also than the font that's here to this side. So these are really small, tiny errors that you know, like, it looks like a like just a bad small business website otherwise. One thing that's different is folks who have a small business, who are like putting together their own small business website, tend to be obsessive about little details that don't matter, right? Like, they might just have terrible web design skills, but they wouldn't usually mess up a tiny spelling error or make the fonts be 2 different colors. That's not usually the kind of mistake you see from somebody who is bad at web design. It'll just be a badly designed website. It won't have weird little formatting errors like that. Whereas like the design of this website's very sleek and clean and modern, but it's got these random little formatting errors. That doesn't necessarily prove that they're a scam or not, right? Then they give us their contact information. This picture is very, very blurry, which is kind of interesting, and kind of low resolution compared to the other pictures. But again, that could, and that's something that could be a mistake. But they gave us an address, so I looked up their address to find out where they are. Well, this is their address. Now, there's nothing there. There's a parking lot there. That could be okay. I use a virtual address for my clinic because I only do home visits and I only do telehealth. So I don't have a physical clinic location. So I use a virtual address. But this doesn't even appear to be a virtual address. This appears to be, because virtual addresses have actual buildings where people are so that you can get your mail from there. And the police can come get you from there if they need to or whatever, right? Things can happen. There has to be a way to track you. This seems like a not address, like a nowhere place. And then I took this address, I put it into search, and I found that many, many companies are located at this address. There are many companies right here. They're just invisible. You just don't know it. That's all. They're magical companies. And they all have the same website. Look how this looks the same. You can find us at blah, blah, blah. It looks exactly the same. Can you see how the same this looks? And there are many of them. And this is where I wanted to enlist you guys. I did not have time to go through and report every single website under this address, but they need to be. So I need people to go through and report these websites to as many people as they can, because it takes a while. I spent a very long time. I spent maybe 40 hours on this total because I had to report the main guide to a bunch of things. So we'll get to that later. But if you get the chance and could report these addresses. So I did report these addresses. I actually sent all, so actually it's not true that I didn't, but I need you guys to also, because I sent these screenshots to people. But, yeah, this is a problem. How are all these websites, all these addresses, located at the same place? Then I realized that what we were really on to here was a group of multi-dimensional, time-traveling Doctor Who people. And if we can just hunt them down, then we can join them on their magical adventures throughout the multiverse. It's a portal is what's there. That's what's there. That's not what's there. That's not what's there. I decided to continue having a conversation with my magical employer, hoping that eventually I might do a good enough job that they'll allow me to come on, multi-dimensional adventures with them. And maybe I'll even meet Doctor Who. All right, I said, I can probably do that today or next week. Then what is next? Will you email me what I need to print, or do I need to download something from the website?
Yes, I will email you whatever needs to be printed. What time today can you gather the materials? What time today can you gather the materials?
It's gathered. If you want to email the stuff over, you're welcome to do so.
How many envelopes do you have?
The Big Priority Express flat rate envelopes come in a pack of 10. This I didn't know. This I had to Google to make sure.
Yes. Means you have just 10, right?
The kind of paper is Form 1000, like business voucher checks.
Yes, correct.
I had to look that up too, because I didn't know what that was.
Can you please send pictures of what you have so we can proceed?
Okay. Dun dun dun. Now, I did not actually have any of these materials. I did not have priority mail envelopes, and I did not have Form 1000 business voucher check paper because it cost $40 on Amazon and $60 for some of it. And I didn't want to spend money on this, and I also wasn't going to actually help this guy. So I had a problem. I had to figure out. I tried to stall a little bit, trying to figure out what I was going to do about the pictures. So I said, okay, what are we actually printing? Form 1000 seems like usually used for checks.
We're doing a test run print for survey payrolls.
And then it was about 9 minutes of me searching online to try to find pictures of these things that didn't look professional, which is much harder than you would think. If you Google Priority Mail Express envelopes, you're going to get nice-looking white background Priority Mail Express envelopes pictures, similarly to the checks, right? So I was doing my Google foo as fast as I could.
Are you with me?
Bam! I have this Priority Mail picture and this checks picture, and I was incredibly proud of. And thereby proving that I had indeed bought the stuff. These are the kinds I have. My school sent out an email and told me this job might be of fishing. What does that mean? It sounds like fishing? Is everything okay with this job? Blink, blink, blink. The Form 1000 paper is way more expensive than $21, by the way, because he had told me it'd be $21. And I sent that text immediately afterwards because I realized that asking about the fishing was probably the wrong move right away.
This has nothing to do with that. Space. It's a reputable job. Possessive. And not. It is. You have nothing to worry about.
Ah, okay, good.
How much did you buy it?
I bought it hook, line, and sinker. I believe them 100% that this is a great job. All you have to do is tell me.
How much did you buy it?
250 blank checks is 250 sheets, which is $47. That is the smallest box available that has the blue stationery. The VersaCheck UV Secure form, number 1000.
Oh, okay. It's fine. Possessive. Not it is.
Okay.
Are you free tomorrow morning?
No, tomorrow is Shabbat.
Okay. When will you be free?
And this was a good thing, because you don't want to appear overeager. Asking about the fishing thing, you don't want to appear confrontational either. So, I am ready whenever to print the things. My email is whenever, not whenever. Sorry. I used a fake email address that had a first name, last name format so that it looked professional and not silly, and it was something that they would believe looked like it came from a human being and not a liar.
I have to arrange the USPS labels. That is why I asked if you would be available tomorrow.
Available? What do you mean? You mean to mail the things?
I mean, what time works for you tomorrow for printing?
Oh, I mean, I can print things whenever. My parents' printer is in my house. At this point, I changed identities a little bit. I decided to become instead a college or medical student who has very nosy parents. So that's what we became. It's just that to get to the post office and so forth, I have to have a ride, and we don't do that on Shabbat. Just let me know.
Okay, thank you.
I have to get back to my evening class now, but email me whenever.
I will text you. Thank you.
Reconfirm your zip code, please. Dun, dun, dun. Why is he asking for my zip code? Does anybody know? Does anybody know? Class, does anyone know why he's asking for my zip code? So the reason he's asking for my zip code is not to do with credit card. It's because he wants to see at this point. No, he wants to see at this point if I'm a scam baiter. Because I haven't given him a credit card. I haven't given him any information. It's because we ran into the last time Nor Shadow was there, actually, when we ran into this, when we called a scammer, and the scammer got really mad at me and started kind of saying things. They didn't get mad, but they got creepy, and they kept asking me about, like, where I live. So it makes them suspicious because they know, they, like, come from a different, like, the area code is different, doesn't match the zip code, then you could be a scammer. They don't understand that a lot of times, a lot of Americans move around, but old people don't, and that's usually the kind of people they target. This is a different kind of scam, though. So that's one thing. That was what got us last time. But this time I was using a phone number that lined up with a zip code. But there's actually another reason he needs my zip code. Is because he's actually going to send mail from my zip code for the UPS labels. So that is why he wants my zip code.
You said it could be anywhere, right? Like I said at the beginning, in Virginia. Yes, you could be anywhere. Okay, good. Well, email me the stuff to print whenever you're ready. Talk later.
And then he sent me a message on Saturday, the next morning. So I sent him a list of Bible verses telling him to leave me alone on Saturday. People don't do that.
Good morning, and hope you had a blessed weekend.
Oh, look at him. He's also religious.
Confirm you are getting my messages. Hello?
He emailed me like every hour, and I was actually busy on other things, so I was starting to actually get a little annoyed.
Yeah.
I've not received any email from you to print.
I wanted to read from you first so I can walk you through the process. Are you ready now?
What do you mean, read from me?
Should I send you something I've written to read? I mean, are you available to print now? So we can do that right away.
I can print, but I have not received any email from you.
What email should I send it to?
I want to kill him at this point. The one I sent you last week, right?
Okay.
And then 3 minutes later.
Okay.
And then 16 minutes later.
Please check your email. I have emailed you the USPS labels. You ought to print that on a blank A4 paper. Confirm you have the mail.
I did indeed have the mail. Again, I have blocked out my actual email address, but I've shown his, and there are a couple more red flags to talk about here. First, his email says it comes from Easy Tech Systems, all lowercase, but it comes from a Proton Mail email. Proton Mail is a very helpful, secure, and basically untraceable email address. So this is not a totally stupid person, even though he can't seem to remember when I've sent him my email 3 times. Proton Mail is something, it's better than Gmail because it doesn't, they don't sell your information, they don't sell you ads or anything like that. They're very, very secure. But they are not, what they are not is a company email address. They are not easytechsystems.com. So, they sent me an attachment. And the attachments were these labels. And this is when it was starting to get kind of creepy. These labels had a bunch of addresses on them, real people's addresses. And he had, they had organized this priority mail express one day tracking or whatever to be sent. And you can see the fake zip code that I gave him, 22406, up at the top. And that was the zip code that he used to buy or get, because he may not have bought them, he may have generated them fraudulently, USPS tracking numbers. I hope he bought them. I hope he had to spend money. So, I let him know what I got. Can you just send the file as an attachment? SendSpace is not good with my computer. He originally sent them to me on SendSpace, which I'm not downloading a link it was a link, and that's no good. So the reason that Kitboga doesn't teach scam baiting, which I think is important to talk about, is that people can do really dumb stuff trying to play with these criminals and get, all of your information stolen, and bad things can happen to you, or you can do bad stuff to other people. I watched 2 separate videos from, I think it was Trilogy Media. In one, they tracked down the address of the person that they believed to be the scammer. In both of them, they tracked down the address of the person that they believed to be the scammer. And in one, it was an old white lady, and in one, it was an old Indian man. In the case of the old white lady, after talking to her, they decided, she was actually a victim and like a money mule who had been like tricked into sending money back and forth. And in the case of the old Indian man, they immediately assumed he was the scammer. They confronted the family. They were really loud and aggressive towards his wife and his daughter. And they said that, he was lying and so forth. But it's like they had no evidence either way for both things. He could have also been a victim. Old Indian men can also get scammed, just like old white women can get scammed. So, and I don't think they were intentionally being racist. I think it was an entirely subconscious action. And that's a big danger with this vigilante shit. So there's a very good reason that the highest level players don't teach people how to do this and don't recommend that you do it, because people can really get hurt. What you should do if you see something like this, get the information you can and present it to the police. And if you feel that the police are not going to be useful, I'm going to give you stuff here at the end of this conversation to show you who I submitted information to. So, but a big reason, so safety of other people matters. You might be wrong and you might hurt somebody who didn't do anything. Your own safety also matters. I didn't want to click on that SenseSpace link because I am very well aware that it's possible to download spyware that lets them get into your computer. And once they get into your computer, they can get your bank account login, all this kind of stuff. And no, having a VPN will not protect you from that. Everyone thinks like a VPN is like this end-all, be-all that's going to like save you from all these things. But all a VPN does is means that your traffic isn't geo-observable to a select group of people. But you can still leak yourself. And, a VPN doesn't protect you from quote-unquote hackers or anything like that. So, don't click on creepy links. And a lot people are always asking Kitboga, like, why don't you talk about how to do this? And please teach people how to do this or that. And it's like, the danger with him teaching people to do these things is then they do them and they, get their bank accounts cracked into. Kitboga actually doesn't even run his scam baiting on his own computer. He has a separate computer on an entirely separate network from his stuff, in case he does run into somebody who is much smarter than him and can hack into his computer no matter what he does. So when he lets scammers onto his computer, he lets scammers only onto his, fake computer, which is not even just a fake computer, but it's a virtual machine inside a fake computer, inside a network that's separated from his home network. So it's like this little island, and it doesn't have any, it has like complete aliases and fake information on it. But setting something up like that, it would be very easy to make the slightest mistake, so that all nearby networks, there are some very unusual, there's like the Hungamunga virus and other Trojans and things like that. There are things that can get from one network to another network that's nearby and kind of destroy everything. So, and I'm not entirely, I don't know how that works. I don't know enough about it to know what I don't know, and that's why I'm not messing with that. And I think people would be wise not to do that. So that's a major superhero point, that, stick to the good that you know how to do, and otherwise learn. Otherwise, just always be learning. And don't assume. You definitely don't want to be the person who goes and accuses the wrong old person